Project scope statement. How to write one with example. What is the project scope? The scope of a project is the entire sum of all the work tasks and activities that must be executed within the project. A project scope document involves gathering all the data regarding the stakeholders' requirements and demands that are required to get the project started. For project managers, it is important to first understand the project objectives and requirements in order to write a project scope statement. A project scope statement is documented after clearly defining the project scope.
But before we start moving forward, make sure to subscribe channel and click on the bell icon. Sprintzeal provides training programs, certification programs on their websites. If you're interested in them, do check out the links in the description.
This helps in defining the boundaries of a project, along with all the necessary tasks that must be performed and others that should be ignored. Project managers use Gantt chart tools to not only allocate project resources for project tasks but also to set scopes. This helps them understand the project plans and be clear about them to the team members. This results in promoting the quality of projects and keeping the staff productive. In the following sections, we shall learn in depth about what a project scope statement is and how to write one with an example. What is a project scope statement? As defined in the PMBOK guide, the process of describing project scope, boundaries, and deliverables as a form of documentation is called a project scope statement. This documentation provides details of the project and its product scope, related tasks like project limitations, project milestone, description about the designed project tasks and more. Not only does a project scope statement allow project managers to keep track of the project, but it also helps project stakeholders to stay updated about the deliverables and the changes made for the project. A scope statement is used on multiple occasions for multiple clarifications. Your project scope statement acts as a key for understanding the elements of the project and the objectives for delivering the product. Project stakeholders use this as a tool of reference to measure the progress of the project succession. How to write your project scope statement. Derive project goals and objectives. This might sound repetitive, but yes, that is how important it is to first derive the project objectives and goals before starting a project, because these are what define a project. A project scope statement must be documented by first explaining these goals and objectives. Concluding project requirements. Project managers and stakeholders must come to an agreement about deciding the project scope and project requirements. With them listing out all the requirements, the decision-making is left alone for the board members. These include quality, applications, and resources like tools and cost. Describing the project scope. Now, here is where it all truly starts. This is a very important step that describes all the project tasks and activities that complete the project. Simply by following a few steps, the project manager can plan and describe the project scope, and following are a few of them. Visualizing project tasks, activities, deliverables, and resources is made easy by using the Work Breakdown Structure, WBS. Knowing what falls within the project scope and what falls outside is important. Listing all possible things can give a brief idea of what to consider in the project and what to exclude. Identify project constraints or limitations, like project cost, and resources like time. Now, compare the project's overall progress when agreeing with the planned project scope and create a scope outline. It should be noted that minimal things like project exclusions and project constraints should not be ignored, since they play a major part in establishing boundaries. Identifying exclusions. As imperative as it is, setting boundaries for your project does not only include identifying what things to include, it is also equally important to list what not to include. Activities like including international application updates for later projects and rescheduled client or customer support can also be considered exclusions. Deciding constraints. After understanding what to include and what to exclude, the project would now become an easy puzzle to solve. Now, it is time to manage the project constraints in order to make this happen as planned. Time, money, and project scope are interconnected and are called the triple constraints of project management. Apart from these three, there are other project constraints like project method, project risk, project resources, and more. By listing all the constraints you can foresee in the project, you will have solutions ready in advance for any future instances and incidents. Project assumptions and deliverables. In the majority, project assumptions would redirect to the same constraints like time and money. And it is very important to list out all the assumptions and constraints, since it delivers insights by identifying the biggest risk factors and also reporting about the primary resources to the key stakeholders. You might already know that deliverables are also as important as deriving the project constraints. including a few key components like marketing guides, advertising operations, product installation guides, and more. You must list all deliverables that address your team members must produce. Project scope statement sample. Understanding these concepts theoretically is as easy as reading Sprintzeal's blogs, but the knowledge and experience for their practical applications only come from practicing. The following is a project scope example given as a visual template that can help you visualize and understand better how to write a project scope statement. This sample template was created in Microsoft Word. Utilizing a few software tools can also benefit a project management team in many ways. Project management tools like KissFlow, Trello, Project Manager, and Jira provide a very versatile interface and platform for all your project management tasks and activities. With this said, it not only saves time but also helps provide flexibility in editing, formation, tracking, and optimization when compared to doing it traditionally.
If you found this video informative and useful, we'll always bring new concepts explained for you, so stay tuned with Sprintzeal, and if you like the video, do share. If have any doubts or queries, do let us know in the comment section. Use the coupon code YouTube10 in our website to get 10% off on all our courses.